Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the IPEC India webinar on the future trends in OSD lubrication in collaboration with Nitika Pharma. We welcome you all to this excellent webinar that we are going to share with you today with our esteemed presenter and speaker, Mr. Ravleen Singh Khurana. Before we start, a few do's and don'ts. We would request everyone to please be on mute and switch off your cameras when speakers are presenting. We would also request you to please put all your questions in question and answer chat box. So after the presentation is done, we will take each and every question and answer them for you. Now, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Hemgir Gosavi, Managing Committee Member, IPEC India, to deliver welcome address. Dr. Hemgir Gosavi is a doctorate in pharmaceutical technology from Mumbai University, India. His professional experience is for 22 years in the field drug product development. His expertise areas are the development of generic drug product scale-up, risk assessment, and quality by design. Currently, Dr. Hemgir is with Mock Life Science Pvt Ltd and also managing committee member IPEC India. Welcome, Hemgir sir. Over to you. Hemgir sir.
You are on mute.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, distinguished members, participants, and our speaker of the day, Ravleen ji. Very good evening. On behalf of International Pharmaceutical Excipient Council of India, IPEC India, I am pleased to welcome our guest speaker of today, Mr. Ravleen Singh Khurana, Managing Director, Nitika Pharmaceutical Specialities Pvt Ltd, and all delegates from India and rest of the world representing industry and academia to the webinar organized with support from Nitika Pharmaceutical on future trends in OSD lubrication. I could see that many of the participants are not members of IPEC India and may not be familiar with IPEC activities. Hence, I would just give a little brief about IPEC India activities. The IPEC Federation is a global organization that promotes quality in pharmaceutical excipients. IPEC currently is a federation of 5 independent regional industry associations headquartered in United States, that is IPEC Americas, Europe, Japan, China, and India. It provides a unified voice to promote the best use of excipients in medicines as a means of improving patient treatment and safety. IPEC India is a non-profit organization with following objective. First one is to develop and promote voluntary guidance and other programs for the pharmaceutical industry that are designed to ensure continued availability of excipients for finished products that meet the highest appropriate standards for quality, safety, and functionality throughout their manufacturing process and supply chain. Second, to educate and cooperate with regulatory authorities, industry organizations, and scientific bodies working to advance public health on matters relating to manufacture, distribution, use, and functionality of excipients. It's also to develop a promotion and communication program by means of seminars, webinars, workshops, participation in symposiums, exhibitions to inform government, industry, media, and public about excipients, issues, and accomplishments. Today's webinar is in fulfillment of these objectives to create awareness among excipient manufacturers, distributors, and users about the various IPEC guidelines for the industries. The key concept of IPEC India is to bring all stakeholders on common platform to understand each other's requirements and work together. I am sure that the presentation by distinguished expert speaker, Mr. Ravleen Singh Khurana ji, will be highly enlightening and thought-provoking. Thank you, and wishing you all to have a highly interactive knowledge sharing evening. Over to you.
Thank you, Hemgirji.
Thank you, Hemgir sir, for the insightful opening. Now I have a pleasure introducing guest speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Ravleen Singh Khurana. Ravleen Singh Khurana is an entrepreneur par excellence. He founded Nitika Pharmaceutical Specialities Pvt Ltd in 2009. At the age of 19, today Nitika Pharma is world's leading excipients manufacturer, exporter to MNCs in 90s country. In pharma in giant 90 countries across the globe. Mr. Khurana has done his master in pharmaceutical technology from Nagpur University in 1994, followed by MBA in marketing. Under his leadership, Nitika Pharma has achieved many milestones and prestigious awards in the industry. The much coveted National Award for Outstanding Entrepreneurship from Government of India by the hands of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the Best Pharma Excipients Company by UBM, organizers of CPHI worldwide, the Best Pharma MSME in India by Axis Bank, Vidarbha Gaurav by Nag Vidarbha Chambers of Commerce, Best Pharma Exporters of Vidarbha Star Export House by Government of India. He authored research papers and patented in his name, especially to mention Nitika Pharma, the first manufacturer to file DMF of Magnesium Steroid from Asia and second in the world. He is also honored to be part of many associations in different capacities like Managing Committee Member IPEC India, President of Lagu Udyog Bharti Nagpur, National Head Excipients Vertical Lagu Udyog Bharti Pharma Committee, Immediate Past Secretary of Vidarbha Drug Manufacturers Association, Secretary LOC UDP Alumni Association Nagpur. He is also ex-member of Board of Studies Faculty of Medicine Nagpur University and ex-director Rotary Club. Welcome, Ravleen sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction, Dipesh. I hope my screen is visible clearly.
Yes, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar by IPEC. I thank you, IPEC, for giving me this opportunity to do this presentation. I also thank Kaushik Desai ji and all the other members present for giving me this opportunity. So the topic of today's presentation is future trends in OSD lubrication. Before we go to the topic, you can just see a picture on the left side of the screen. This is a ring which Dubai government is envisaging to build around Burj Khalifa. So this is what future should look like. So first, they made Burj Khalifa one of the highest, tallest building in the world at that time. Then now they are coming with the idea of making this ring a reality. This is going to be a structure of 20 kilometer circumference, supported on 4 pillars. You can imagine 1 kilometer long stretch supported on a single pillar. And it is going to have sky gardens, malls, offices, and whatnot. So this is how a future is going to look like. And the shape of this structure is also round like our most common OSD, that is tablet. So future is what we can visualize, what we can see. So like they are building this ring, we also in the field of OSD lubricants should come out with such innovative solutions, such disruptions, which should change the way things are being done presently. So this is a disclaimer by IPEC. Though there'll be a lot of seniors present in this presentation, but there could be some students. So we are starting with the basic about OSD formulations. So if you look at the OSD formulations, they are the formulations which are administered orally. Tablets and capsules are the most common form of OSDs. The flexibility in different strengths. So making a tablet, you can make with a 10 milligram dose, you can go up to 800 milligram or 1 gram. Then the drug release can be controlled, the onset, intensity, duration of action. You can have retarded release, you can have timed release, you can have immediate release, you can have ODTs. And most important, it is economical and elegant dosage form. So this is the most commonly used dosage form. So what we are going to talk about is going to apply to majority of formulations that are made in the industry. Now, first, let's have a look at lubrication process in the OSDs. So we can understand the process of OSD lubrication using the example of magnesium stearate. So magnesium stearate occurs as a plate-like crystals stacked together like a deck of cards. You can see a deck of cards in the center of the screen. So exactly like this deck of cards is a crystal of magnesium stearate, where one over other, the different lamella or plate-like structure are stacked together. And as the blending process proceeds, plates continue to shear off the stack and coat adjacent particles or granules. So like we move the cards, same way, the individual layers or plates of magnesium stearate, they peel off or they shear off, and then they coat the adjacent particles. That's how the lubrication process goes. The higher the concentration of magnesium stearate that is used, or the longer the blending continues. So the two factors, the concentration and the blending time, the more complete this coating of the adjacent particles will become. So these are the two factors which will decide how much coating is going to be done. Of course, for a good amount of lubrication, it has to be optimum. Over lubrication or under lubrication, both are not good for the tablets. So this is, in short, the lubrication process. We spoke about magnesium stearate, but you will speak of any lubricant, more or less is going to be same. It makes a coat over the granules and gives them the lubrication. Now, let's watch this video which tells us how it works. This is with magnesium stearate 1%. You can see how smoothly the tablets are moving. And this is without magnesium stearate. So now, if we are talking in a normal seminar, I'll ask you guys to tell the difference. But here, I only have to speak for you. So the difference is that the tablets are moving very nicely when you have the lubricant in place. And in the second case, without the lubricant, the movement of tablets is very tough and tablets are not moving at all. They are stuck up there. So this is what is a role of lubricant in tableting. I hope this visual will give you insight how exactly the tableting goes on. Now, some fundamentals of the lubrication. So what in lubrication we do is reduce the interparticle friction. We lower friction and adhesion to the die walls. We reduce the cohesion. We reduce the friction between dies and the punches, and we try to improve the powder flow. So these are the few fundamentals of lubrication, which is done during the process of tableting. Now, there are 4 different lubrication mechanisms. First is a hydrodynamic lubrication. Second is the elasto-hydrodynamic lubrication. Then mixed lubrication, boundary lubrication. If you look at these different form of lubrication, the boundary lubrication is the most commonly used in the OSDs. So this boundary lubrication works well with the tablets, and it smooths the process by forming a film between the 2 surfaces that reduces friction and thus improves performance and efficiency. So in the boundary of the tablet, you can see the tablets in the picture. In the boundary of the tablets, the layer is made, and this layer helps in moving this tablet fast, that is ejecting them out and not to stick to the punch faces. So this is the role of the lubricants, and they go via boundary lubrication theory. Now, what are the most commonly used OSD lubricants? So these 6 names you are conversant with. Out of these 6, the clear-cut hero is a magnesium stearate. With more than 90% of the times it is being used, and it is so versatile. It has so many advantages that despite of some disadvantages like impacting the dissolution or DT, still it remains the used in 90% of the OSD formulations. Now, in the recent times, the sodium stearyl fumarate or SSF is gaining gaining importance, and it is having the advantages mainly as a lubricant. It is not as good as magnesium stearate. Its particle size is not as fine, but it does not impact the attributes like dissolution and disintegration adversely because it's lipophilic lubricant, whereas magnesium stearate is a lipophobic lubricant. Sorry, hydrophobic lubricant, and sodium stearyl fumarate is a hydrophilic lubricant. So because of this, it is now the acceptance is being accorded to SSF. Then comes steric acid. Steric acid is one of the oldest lubricant used. When the pills used to made by triturating in pharmacies, still from that time, steric acid is being used, and it is used also as a intragranular lubricant where you can add this while doing the granulation. So when you are making the retard release combinations, this is a very good lubricant. There are products like metformin and metprolol where this is used as a intragranular lubricant. So in some lubricants, in some formulations where you don't want either metals like magnesium or you don't want the alkaline products, there this acidic lubricant is used. The fourth is PEG or polyethylene glycol. The specialty of PEG is it is a soluble lubricant. So it stands apart from the others in being a water soluble one. And because of that, for effervescent tablets and some antacid formulations, this is used commonly. Calcium stearate is a close relative of magnesium stearate, and where the magnesium is not okay, but calcium is okay, there it is preferred, but has a limited application. Same is a zinc stearate. So these are the most commonly used lubricants in the OSD formulations. Now, though they may be a few lubricants, but their grades are many, and what critical role they play, that we are going to see in the future slides. Now, it's very important is to select the lubricant properly. If you don't select it properly, then your whole formulation is at risk. So what are the considerations for selecting these lubricants? So the first is low shear strength. Second, being able to form a durable layer covering the surface of the particles. Third, it should be non-toxic. It should be compatible with the API. The very important aspect is there should not be any batch-to-batch variability. So this batch-to-batch variability plays a very vital role because we want the same reproducible results in terms of lubrication and in terms of dissolution or disintegration. And there you require this very low batch-to-batch variability. Optimal concentration again plays a key role. Over and under lubrication are very great risk to the formulation, and the blending time or mixing time also plays a vital role. So these are the some key considerations for selecting the right lubricant. Now we go to some lubrication challenges. You can see the sweat on the emoji. That represents the hard work of the formulation scientist. How tough sometimes for them is to find solution to these complex problems of lubrication. So it's saying my tablets have picking and sticking. So the important role of lubricant is to effectively lubricate the granules and to act as a mold release agent so that the tablets will leave the inside walls of dies and faces of punches without sticking. So why the sticking occurs? Because the tablet doesn't come out well. It sticks to the die wall or punch and it gets defaced. So sometimes these ineffective lubricants does not lubricate properly and they lead to defacing and uneven surfaces, and crevices may be formed which lead to picking and thereby distorting edges in the surfaces. So this is one important role and challenge. Because of poor quality, the challenge, and the good quality, then it will do the role properly and your tablets will not have picking and sticking. So this is the first challenge. Second is friability and capping problem. So removal of the upper layer of the tablet during tableting is called capping. So if the granules are ineffectively lubricated due to lowering of binding strength, capping can occur. So if the particle size of lubricant is not proper and uniform, again the binding strength will be lowered. So both the thing, if the lubrication is not proper, a particle size of lubricant is not proper, this can occur. And uniformity of lubricant also can affect friability because it could be present in very high quantities at some point and very low in other, and that can cause a problem in compression. And then the friability and the capping problem will take place. So this is another challenge with lubrication. Now, the problem of quality of lubricant is not only affecting the formulation scientist or formulation manufacturing person or QA person and QC person, but also goes to the engineering. You can see this red face of the emoji. You can relate it to an engineer in your maintenance department. And lubricant is expected to provide lubrication not only to tablets, but also for dies and punches, because you cannot put grease there. So when the dies and punches are moving fast, the lubricant there is magnesium stearate. And the poor quality lubricant leads to more friction between dies and punches. So obviously there's no lubrication, so they move very fast. So there will be lubrication issues, and eventually wear and tear will happen. And these dies and punches will be wearing out, and these just very costly affair to replace them. And beyond that, the production time and downtime are all serious issues. So even the maintenance guys look for a good quality lubricant. Now, if the dies and punches are not lubricated, it can further lead to machine breakdowns. So these lubricants will not reduce the friction and damage dies and punches. So machine works with higher friction, and then increased force is required to carry out the compression. Increased friction destabilizes the machine. Its vibrations increase, leading to breaking or chipping off of dies and punches and other breakdown of tableting machines. So it's a set of reactions which are triggered off from non-lubrication of dies and punches. And then it goes up to scrapping off of the machine. So it can be such a serious thing. Then the marketing guys, they always want the tablet should be very smooth and shiny, because when a patient takes tablet in hand and he looks at it, the finish of the tablet makes a big impact. And we all know in the pharma field, the placebo results are never zero. So if a placebo can act so much, we all know that how much psychology plays a role in the healing. So if the tablets are not smooth and shiny, then also it goes back to the dies and punches which are not smooth. The surface becomes uneven. The dies and punches wear off. They do little picking and sticking. And ultimately, the tablets which are made doesn't have a smooth surface. Plus, even the quality of lubricant decides the shine on the tablet. So this emoji can represent the marketing guy and who is not happy for the quality of tablet that is getting, because then the doctor and the patients may not like his formulation despite of being a therapeutically perfect one. Now comes the QA person. He is worried about the regulatory QA and RA people. So they are worried about the regulatory compliance. So when you do testing in QC and your dissolution test is not passing, then you can make out that this is a side effect of poor quality lubricant, which you need to use in such a high concentration that it will make a continuous impervious layer of lubricant over the granule surface, and that acts as a barrier. So the water cannot get inside the tablet, and you get the DT increase or dissolution increased, because the gastric fluid cannot enter and the DT and the dissolution is delayed. So even the RA and the QA people are worried because of the poor quality of lubricant. Now we come to the operator level. He is having a lot of sweat on his face. You can see this emoji again. So the extent of shear applied during mixing process is a critical variable. If the mixing process is too short, a lubricant may not be homogeneously distributed, and some portion of the blend will contain excessive amount of lubricant and show increased tendency of over lubrication. So half the blend can be over lubricated, half could be under lubricated. So both will not perform well. On the other hand, if the excessive shear is applied, like you're doing more and more time, sometimes operator will say, "Arey, wo thoda mix nahi hua hai, thoda zyada chala dete hain." The lubricant may become finely divided and the flowability, and thereby adversely affecting the critical factors like dissolution. So we have to choose the lubricant which will be to a good extent independent of blending time. And believe me, friends, there are grades of different lubricants which can give you, which will not have effect of blending time on them, and even the blending ratio or even the blending schedule, like how you do the blending, what you add first, will have no impact. So such lubricants are available. So, but if the quality is not good, then you're going to have this challenge. Then the chipping problem. Again, the tablet will be chipped off. It will stick to the punch face, and the proper lubrication can avoid this. So when we look at the problems, right from the R&D scientist to production people, to QC, to QA, to RA, to engineering, the whole industry is getting entangled in this. So why so? The $1 million question is, why so many challenges? And if you ask any formulator, he'll tell you one thing. This is the most dreaded excipient that we handle, lubricant. Everything other, we are not worried, but lubricant, lot of worries. Little here and there, and we are gone. So why so many challenges? The knowledge base, we have enlisted the reasons of why these challenges. The first and foremost is the knowledge base for OSD lubrication process is inadequate. So we don't have a good amount of knowledge base and the knowledge pool on lubrication process, and it is poorly understood. So whatever knowledge base we have, that is also not understood well by the many in the industry. So one, the process is not well, knowledge base is not available. And second, whatever is available is not understood properly. Second point is the lubrication needs of individual OSD formulation has to be studied in details with respect to brittleness, plasticity, or viscoelasticity to determine the specific needs. That means different formulation can be divided into brittle, plastic, viscoelastic, etc. And we need to study that formulation with respect to this parameter under which category it falls. And thereby we can tell more about the specific needs with respect to lubrication. Every OSD formulation has a specific lubricant sensitivity, which depends upon many factors such as nature, particle size, crystal type, and dose of API. Different type of excipients and their quantities, blending time, type of granulation process, etc. So the lubricant sensitivity of a tableting mix or tableting blend, it depends on all these factors. We have to study all of those factors. And based on this lubricant sensitivity and the knowledge of individual lubricants, so we need to have both. On one side, we should know the knowledge of lubrication process, then we should know what kind of mass it is, then we should know about the API, about the excipient, and now on the other hand, we should know different knowledge of different type of excipients, the lubricants, and the individual lubricant have to be coupled with, after systematically quantifying their effects, the matchmaking needs to be done with attention to the specific details. This matchmaking process is the most vital thing. And you all know, if the matchmaking is done properly, the rest of the things go well. So if the matchmaking is not proper, problems are going to occur. Then, even after the matchmaking, the process of lubrication is very sensitive to overmixing, leading to segregation, low hardness, increase in DT, and ultimately impacting the tablet quality. So even if you selected everything right, but your process also should be right. So if you do all this nicely, then there's a good chance that you can escape these challenges. One coat does not fit all. As you can see in the picture, there are a lot of gentlemen and gentlewomen wearing the one type of coat. The coat is same. For few it's oversized, for few it's undersized, for few it's too long, for few it's too short, and so on and so forth. And same is a job that we do while doing lubrication. We provide coat to the granules. So coat here also and coat is there also. And if there's not a right size of the coat, it will not fit all. So if you try to fit the same coat to all, this is what is going to happen. And then, though these people are smiling, but if we do this kind of quote, our formulation may not smile. Now, how to resolve the lubrication challenges? So first, every OSD or a tablet formulation is unique, like unique individuals. So don't group them all together and try to give them the single quote. Treat them unique like individuals. Then we cannot expect all the OSDs to have similar lubrication needs. Every tablet or every capsule will have different lubrication need. Then can we expect one lubricant type or grade to meet all the requirement of OSDs? No. So many times what we do, we have a single magnesium stearate available on the shelf and we use in all the formulations. 1%, 1.5%, 2%, 3%. Okay, calm ho gaya. So we have to be more scientific in this. So empirism will not work. In the era of quality by design, the choice of lubricant, its appropriate grade, and the optimum amount. So you must have noticed three things. In QBD, the choice of lubricant, its appropriate grade. Grade is also very, very important. And the optimum amount of tablet formulation has to be concluded based on thorough scientific evaluation. So if you take a single lubricant, say magnesium stearate, but the different grades of magnesium stearate can have different effects. If you're choosing a grade with a surface area from 1 to 5, and you're using a grade with 20 to 25 surface area, both are going to be poles apart in the working. And if you replace them, it's not going to work at all. Your formulation will fail. There are research papers which tells you where magnesium stearate from manufacturer A has been changed to magnesium stearate of manufacturing B. The tablet failed. All the chemical parameters are passing, but the formulation fails because in excipient testing, the chemical testing has hardly any role to play. It's all physical properties, the particle size, the surface area, the particle size distribution, and few more. So here the QBD plays a very vital role. And in last so many years, we have done a lot of work on QBD, and because of that, we could arrive at many specific grades which help us to solve many formulation problems. So QBD plays a vital role. The attributes of the chosen lubricant must perfectly fit like the missing piece of jigsaw puzzle of the lubrication requirement. This is also very, very important. So we should find out from the jigsaw puzzle what is the missing piece, and we should fit that exact piece. And sometime we may need to go for customized or tailor-made lubricant grades. So many times our customers across the globe, from 90 countries, they ask for various customized grades. And sometimes our people are very, tough. They want more grades. So, but finally, we have discussion with them, try to convince them, and find out that their specific needs are not going to be fulfilled without the new customized grade. And then we have to make another grade for them. So somehow we have now hundreds of such customized grade that we have made for our customers across 90 countries. So customization also needs to be done in some cases. Now we have seen the OSD, the lubrication, the process, the mechanism, the type of lubricants, and then the challenges of lubrication. But our topic is the future trend in lubricants. So what lies ahead? So let's see what lies ahead. It's not going ahead. Okay. So the future trend in OSD lubrication are finally here. What is the next big thing? So the future of lubricants will be based upon these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factors, and that will decide the future of lubricants. First and foremost is resolving these burning problems of lubrication. So they say necessity is a mother of invention. So if you are not taking care of the necessity, then future has no place for you. So first and foremost, we have to work on the lubricants which will resolve these burning problems, what we discussed. Second is meeting the specific needs through customization, that also we discussed. So if you cannot meet the need with the standard grade, you have to go for a customized grade. Then offering unique solution for special products like effervescent tablets. So effervescent tablet need different kind of lubricants. Then some co-processed lubricant need to be made for combining the material attributes. Then offering natural lubricants for use in organic, clean label, nutraceutical products. So now people like to have the organic products, and there they need a clean label lubricant preparation. They don't want to go with the chemical grades. Then there are some development in the external lubrication process. Then we have to worry about environmental sustainability, which is a very important thing for all of us. And lastly, we have to work on developing the novel lubricants. So these 8 areas will be future of lubricants. So first is resolving these burning problems of lubrication. So in the future course, tablet granules will be classified into a few broad classes based on the following factors. So now we try to have sometimes one single lubricant, but then in the days to come, already many companies are doing it, but not all. So in the future, all the companies will have to do this. Divide the tablet granules or tablet blends into few broad classes. The first factor is nature of the API. So what kind of API you're handling? Particle size, crystallinity, stickiness, solubility, etc. Which excipients you're using? How many of them? Are they free flowing? Are they DC grade? Are they spray dried? Are they porous? What is their compressibility index? Their surface textures, etc. Then the process variables. Are you doing dry granulation or wet granulation? What is the blending time? What is the pressure of compression? The machine speed, the kind of machine you're using, etc., etc. Then comes the formulation factor, tablet dose, size of the tablet, incompatibilities, retard release, normal release, sustained release, etc. So based on these factors, you have to classify your products into different categories. And then you have to do the matchmaking part. Now different lubricants have different properties. Like we have seen there are different lubricants and they have different properties. What are those different properties? One, magnesium stearate is available as a very fine powder with very high to medium surface area and different particle size range, different bulk densities, different steric and palmatic ratio. So even as we have to classify the formulation into different groups, we have to classify the lubricants also into the different group based on their physical characteristics. Now, some of the examples are given in the next slide of magnesium stearate. There are only 5 broad grade, but tens of grade, if not hundreds of grades are possible with the other variables. So you have 3-4 variables, but they are not in fact 3-4. So surface area can be 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, 15, 20, 25. So number of variables go on increasing. So here are some of the common grades of magnesium stearate. So if you can see the specific surface area, bulk density, and the particle size distribution. The surface area ranges from 5 to 15. In one case, 3 to 13, 5 to 10, 15 to 20, 10 to 15, 10 to 25, etc. BD also varies. So is a PSD, particle size distribution, ranges from D10 of 8 microns to D90 of 35 microns to D10 of 2 microns to T90 of 13 to 30 microns. That means the range of magnesium steroids are available. So these are the 5 grades that I mentioned, the standard ones, but there could be n number of grades depending on these permutation combinations. And here we have not accounted for the palmitic and steric ratio and few more parameters. If we add it, the list is going to be really long, but we need to worry about them. Why? Because each parameter, each characteristic has some impact on the lubricant activity, and it will match the lubricant sensitivity of the formulation in a different way. So your lubrication sensitivity differs and your lubricant activity differs, and you have to strike a balance. For that, you need to understand all these grades in a very nice way and in a great depth. Now we saw the magnesium stearate, but several grades are possible with sodium styrene fumarate, Steric Acid, PEG, etc. Though the number of grades are quite less in these cases because narrow range of particle size and surface area, but grades are still there. Now the art lies in coming together of the formulation scientist and a lubricant manufacturer to do the proper matchmaking of multiple grades with several tableting granule candidates. So here comes the handshake between the two and arrive at the right kind of a lubricant, the right fit. A detailed evaluation needs to be done in each case. In the future, we can expect the number of standard grades offered in huge numbers. So we are talking of future. So in future, mind it, there'll be huge number of grades available because of the needs. Like people are becoming more and more aware of their needs. The scientists also are becoming aware about their formulation need. And so they'll demand more and more grade, and the industry has to offer it, so as to closely meet the lubrication sensitivity need of the different formulations. Now, here comes visual. You can see so this was not my ringtone, but when I saw the car, my phone automatically rang up and played this song. I am fond of Punjabi songs, so maybe it played automatically. So this is Lamborghini or Lamborghini. And why we are showing it here? Because there was a news 2-3 days ago that as this car is a customized one, the manufacturer have told the customers till 2024, no cars are available because they are full with the orders. So when it comes to customization, it's a tough job, but then the premium things have to be customized. So for some special formulation need, premium customized products are going to be in vogue. So now also there are many manufacturers from America who have been giving the customized products in the past, right from the beginning. And now also many manufacturers offer customized grades, which are made as per the formulation need, specific formulation need. So these premium products also are going to increase. So meeting this specific need through customization is the second point in the future. So some of the formulation need tailor-made solutions because of their very unique lubrication needs, incompatibilities, flow properties, etc. In such cases, the excipient manufacturer offers unique tailor-made customized solutions in the form of different grades of commonly used products. And these commonly used lubricants such as magnesium stearate, sodium styrene fumarate, and Steric Acid powder are used in many customized forms. These products are co-developed together by the formulation development team and excipient development team together. So it requires a lot of working between the two teams. These products are highly effective and deliver desired formulation attributes to the point. I remember, I'll not name a multinational, it's American multinational, and they were having a problem in their product in Japan. Japan is a very quality conscious market. And about 10 years ago, they were facing the issues in dissolution, and they approached us. And we developed a specific magnesium stearate with a narrow range of 7 to 9 meters square per gram, and their formulation went off well. Since then, in last 10 years, they never had another issue with this. So the customized products have to be made in the, and I remember the procurement head of that company came and sat in our factory and said, I want this product now because my deliveries are held up. And he literally fought with our people or planning people and got it done. So in days to come, such customized product offerings are going to be increased because of increasing complexity and tightening of various regulatory controls. So complex generics are in thing. So when we are doing complex formulations and we have very strict controls from the regulators, we need to have more and more refined and customized products. So it's not easy thing, it's a tough job, but sometimes we have to do it. Some of the common examples are given in next few slides of these customized products. So this is customized magnesium stearate grade, custom 1, custom 2, custom 3. So mean particle size, again the surface area, BD. So somewhere we are offering high releasing speed, consistent physical performance. Somewhere recommended in application involving fine excipient and herbal composition. Somewhere it's useful when low and steady viscosity is required, offering lower dissolution. So sometimes you don't need very high dissolution. So in the different customized product, you see the different particle sizes, different surface area, different bulk densities, etc. So this is about magnesium stearate, then sodium stearyl fumarate grades. Again, D10, D50, D90 are different. And specific surface area, though you can see the surface area are quite lower. In magnesium stearate, you can go up to 20, 25. But with this, 5 is a max. 5 also is a challenge. So here there are different particle sizes and the different surface area. Again, for SSF is a safe product. So not many customization requirements come to us, but still there are few requests where people want to customize SSF and they claim that it will work only if it is customized like this. So we have to support them in that case. Steric acid is an age-old guy, but here also people want customization. We have not mentioned here, but sometimes they need customization with respect to the steric and palmitic ratio, melting points, particle size, etc., etc., etc. So these customized products also find, and especially when you are trying to use a product in a delayed release or retard release, there the particle size is very important. So though this product is not the only product for the retarding the release, but it will play a role. So there the formulators come up with a different particle size, different bulk density, etc. And for them, the size segregation and the with the blend is also important. So here also the customized grades are very important. Now we come to the third point, offering unique solutions for special products, effervescent tablet. In case of effervescent tablets, if we use the traditional lubricants like magnesium stearate or any other for that matter, so after the dissolution, the liquid becomes hazy and the froth comes at the top. So that glass will not look very aesthetic. And the palatability is reduced. So the patient compliance goes down. That muck comes at the top, which spoils the look of the whole solution. So the soluble lubricants are used, and also some special formulated lubricants are used in effervescent tablet. Either people go for sodium styrol fumarate SSF. There it is hydrophilic. So at least it goes into the water. Magnesium stearate will float on the top. And then comes PEGs. And there are now specific examples or specific products are available in the market, which are made for making effervescent tablet. One example is Efferlube for the effervescent tablets. So these products not only provide good lubrication, but also can help in giving a crystal clear solution. So imagine you put a tablet and you get a clear solution like a sherbet. So you'll enjoy drinking that solution. So there are such lubricants which will help you in getting that kind of solution. Now we come to developing of co-processed lubricants. Many times some lubricants need to be co-processed along with surfactant like SLS to increase the solubility, or with magnesium lauryl sulfate has to be mixed with PEG for effervescent tablet. So some example of co-processed lubricants are given in the next slides. So this is SLS plus magnesium stearate. So this makes magnesium stearate a wettable magnesium stearate. So it makes the product wet. So the two excipients are combined together, and it makes the dissolution quite improved. Then other is SLS is a surfactant, and it helps the gastric juice to penetrate the tablet and achieve the faster DT and subsequently dissolution. Thereby, the negative impact of the magnesium stearate is taken care. So this is also a very interesting co-process excipient. Then we go to another co-process is PEG plus magnesium lauryl sulfate. This is not very common, but it's used in some effervescent tablets such as antacid and analgesics. These lubricants are partially useful, particularly useful when used making effervescent denture cleanser tablets. So the older patients who use this effervescent denture cleanser tablet, they can't afford to have any particles. Otherwise, those poor people will keep dentures for cleaning, and in the morning when they take it out, they'll see the particles sticking to those dentures. So that will spoil the show. There, these clean solutions are a must, and then you can use these lubricants there to give you the clean dentures. Now, there's another need, offering natural lubricant for use in the organic clean label nutraceutical products. So the health conscious people, they want to have organic products. They want to have more natural nutraceuticals. So they want lubricants also to be made from organic clean label products, and it should not contain any synthetic material. So there are some examples of these products are one made from rice, soya oil, and few more composites available widely in Europe and US commonly. And more products are coming in the market for such applications with the natural lubricants. So we can see in the future again, a lot of natural lubricants coming in for the Nutra application. Now, the development in external lubricants. So we have seen internal lubricants which are added in the formulation, but the external lubrication consists in spraying and continuously aspirating lubricants directly onto the punch surfaces and dies. The precise quantity of lubricant is provided from a pre-calibrated screw. The advantages are related to the low quantity provided, and it enhances the tablet strength. Plus, it takes care of a lot of the problems associated with the magnesium stearate lubrication. So we have a video for you in which you can see how it works. So you can see how the magnesium stearate is coming, and they're adjusting the lube concentration also. So here they spray the lubricant on tablet rather than incorporating it inside the formulation. So there's no lubricant inside the tablet. So that has its own advantages and disadvantages. So now we come to environmental sustainability. We all, as a responsible citizens of planet Earth, owe a lot to the nature, and we all must work towards preserving the environment. And this is the best gift we can give to the future generations. So as a environmentalist, I've been demanding now the sustainable farming of palm trees is being done. So there's a body called, it's a very interesting concept. There's a body called RSPO, that is Sustainable Palm Oil Production. What they do, they don't allow the jungles to be cut for the planted trees, but they want these companies to plant equal number of trees and then only take the palm from the existing trees. So they are ensuring not a single tree is cut for this sake. And then they trace it back to every tree. They have geotagging. So they count the number of trees, and from those trees, what oil is extracted, and it is converted into palm stearin, then to Steric Acid, then to magnesium stearate, or Steric Acid itself is used, or sterile alcohol is made, which is converted into sodium stearyl fumarate. So in any case, you must be using either of these three lubricants, magnesium stearate, sodium stearyl fumarate, or Steric Acid, and it will come from palm. So this roundtable on sustainable palm oil will ensure that the palm trees are not being cut to make your lubricant. So this is a very good idea. So we all should try to promote it by going for RSPO grade of lubricant, which makes us more responsible towards our nature. And this is the commitment that everybody should have. So these grades are called RSPO grades. So whenever you're buying it next, you can check whether you are doing the RSPO grade or not. So you can take care of that. And buying RSPO will help a lot in preserving nature. So you must pledge to buy only RSPO grade lubricant to preserve the environment. And then we come to the last part of the presentation, that is developing novel lubricants. So there are some attempts to be made, are being made to come out with the novel tablet lubricants, and they are being evaluated by some excipient manufacturers, though there are very few available products, and many have been tried, but nothing has been accepted by pharma industry in a big way as of now. One product, L-leucine, which is highly water soluble, has been used by for formulating few orally dissolvable tablet ODTs, and they are in the pipeline. So L-leucine is one novel excipient or one novel lubricant. More products are being studied, and in the future, of course, we can expect more grades to come out. So this is about the novel lubricants. And we come to the conclusion part. So quality by design and increasing demand for the precision product and strong regulatory controls are going to make the formulation, going to push the pharma formulation scientists to develop the robust formulation by carrying out detailed studies and thereby arriving at lubricant sensitivity need and then selecting the appropriate grade of lubricants. So this empiricity will be gone and QBD will be in, thereby assessing the lubricant sensitivity. Selecting the appropriate lubricant is going to be the norm of the day in the future. Then come the Lamborghini. The premium customized grades are already well in demand and their requirements are going to increase. Though 90% of formulators are made using magnesium stearate, SSF, because of its lower impact on the desired tablet attributes, is gaining popularity, and in days to come, its share is going to increase. So, magnesium stearate is used for more than 100 years. This is a recently new product, but it is fast gaining. And wherever the complex formulations are there, like copidogrel or some other formulations, formulators straight away go for SSF. So in days to come, we say it is like driving an auto transmission car using SSF. And magnesium stearate is a manual car, the old kind. So you have to do a lot of maneuvering of gears. So here it makes the job of scientist and the technician very easy. The in-process monitoring, especially using automated machines and automations and algorithms, is going to be in thing in the future. And the equipment which spray excipient externally, which we saw the video, may also will rise in days to come. So in all, we see a great future where all the problems related to lubricants, which have been there for more than 50, 60, 100 years, the formulators will be able to get rid of, and they'll be able to design newer OSDs, complex generics, and other formulations with much more precision, control, and with increased safety and efficacy. So this is a future that we foresee in the field of lubricants. And thank you very much for your kind attention and time. Our website is www.nitikapharma.com. We can have question answers here, but if you want any more info, you can write to us. You can visit our website, and we'll be happy to help you. Over to you, Kaushik Bhai.
Yes, Ravleen ji. Thank you very much. I think, but before we start question answer, I request all the participants to go through your chat box, look at the feedback form link. That link has to be filled, which will enable you to get access to the recording of this webinar as well as the participation certificate. So kindly, by the time we interact on the question and answer, kindly go through the link and start filling up feedback also. Okay, Ravleen ji, I will start with the first one because many questions have come out of your presentation. Okay. There's a question which is not very clear. Would like to know if we are thinking of developing excipients which can be used while changing the granulation method from wet to dry.
Yeah, the two granulation method have different needs. And when we shift from wet granulation to dry granulation, we need to evaluate the blend. And obviously, the properties of dry granulation are you need a better lubricant with the more, because see, when you're doing wet granulation, you control the particle size and drying, etc. But in dry, you're not able to. So there you need a better lubricant and a more dose of the lubricant to do the job.
Yeah, correct. Because it both have different properties and different requirements.
Correct.
See, there's another question. Can you please also throw some light on hydrogenated vegetable oils as a lubricant? What are the challenges we may face with this type of lubricant?
Hydrogenated vegetable oil is used as a lubricant since long. And in some of the formulation, it is doing a very good job. But the issue is to distribute this. So as it is a sticky stuff, it is not free flowing. So the blending plays a very vital role. And sometimes if it is not handled properly, can have some issues in the dissolution. So it's not very popular. So if you can replace it with some other excipient, magnesium stearate should do it. If you don't have an option, then you have to standardize the process nicely and use it with care.
Yes, thank you. There's a little bit of machine-oriented question now. The participant would like to know which kind of blender is more effective to mix the lubricant.
Yeah.
Process and
Octagonal
validation
blender.
part.
Yeah. The octagonal blender will do the job. So
Yes.
normally in the octagonal blender is the best one these days.
Okay. One participant would like to know whether you have experience with measurement of distribution of lubricants in tablet blend by target blend analyzer.
Interesting question. We have tried to work on some kind of algorithm, but we're not able to do it. There are attempts being made throughout the world to use some process analytical techniques, PAT techniques, in which you can analyze the blend and accordingly take the informed decisions. So this is a futuristic thing. In the future is going to grow, though we don't have much experience at this point of time.
Okay, thank you. There is a question, of course, you must have covered during a presentation if a participant has been more attentive. He's asking what are the advantages and disadvantages of OSD lubricants in present and future trends. And that was our subject actually.
Correct.
So we won't go in detail, but I will see that once you fill up feedback form, you'll get the recorded version. So which will give a more clarity on what question you have.
Correct.
It's another question, although it's not part of lubrication, but I think if we can take up cross-carbamylose cellulose, which is used in wet granulation, can it affect the dissolution? It doesn't talk about lubrication, which is our subject of the day. When they are talking about the one of the excipients which is used in wet granulation, whether it will affect the dissolution.
Yeah, it's a super disintegrant, cross-carbamylose.
Yes.
So in fact, we make this product and it is used to increase the dissolution. So small quantity also will make the tablet disintegrate very fast. So it will have a great impact on dissolution.
Yeah, thank you. Now there is a question, what are the lubricants by Nitika, which they can always visit website and go through the details.
Correct.
Then what is the ratio of oral solid dosage form to be used with API? For example, for 1 kg API, how much OSD lubricant is needful? This is question.
There's no direct answer to this, but normally the thumb rule is 2%. So they will use up to 2%. 1% may work, 1.5 to 2%. So all the granules, depending on their property, will fit from 0.5 to 2%.
Yes, thank you. And sometimes most of it is combination with talcum too.
Yeah, then it reduces. Then the dose of magnesium straight reduces less than 1%.
Is there any US FDA certified organic lubricant?
Yes. There are the US FDA organic lubricants are there. In fact, Nitika is also coming up with NatLube. We have a US patent for it. The patent is under process. And one Ribus is there, which is from a German company. So as of now, one German company is offering and Nitika is coming up with another one.
Okay. What is the flowability of lubricants and how that can be controlled?
The flowability of lubricant itself is not very great. They don't have a good flow. And of course, they will improve the flow of the blend. So if you're talking of the blend, yes, angle of repose you can check and it's a measure of flow. More is the angle of repose and more is the spread. And when you are making it spray over the external lubrication, then you need a kind of equipment where it can flow nicely. So their magnesium straight works well in that case also.
Yes, thank you. There are more questions. We'll see if the time permits, we'll take up. What are the drawbacks related to using talcum powder?
Sorry, I missed your voice.
It is saying, what are the drawbacks or disadvantages of using talcum powder as a lubricant?
The first thing is it has to be asbestos free. So sometimes the traces of the talcum has the traces of the asbestos, which is a cancer causing substance. That's one thing. Second, sometimes talcum comes from mines with a little dark color. So it gives a tablet little dirty color. And thirdly, it is a glidant. So one should be aware difference between lubricant and a glidant. So the talc primarily should be used as a glidant, and it should be used in combination with some lubricant. Alone, talc will not do the job. So you should be careful enough to blend two, maybe in 1:1 ratio or 2:1 ratio. It should work nicely.
Yes, thank you. Can you suggest specific grade of magnesium stearate for poorly soluble API based on its surface area, particle size, or bulk density?
Definitely. When the poorly soluble API is there you should go for the product which is having low surface area, because already your drug is having low solubility. If you go for a very high surface area, it will do over lubrication. So you should go for a grade where the surface area is less than 5 meters square per gram, and that grade should do the job. And once the particle size is high and the surface area is low, it will not do the over lubrication, and your drug, despite of being poorly soluble, you will get the resolution.
Yeah, thank you. You spoke about a special type of lubricants for the effervescent tablets and also on the external lubrication. That's a new trend which is going to be there. So people like to know a little more about Efferlube, that is for the effervescent grade of tablets.
Right. Efferlube is a branded lubricant, formulated lubricant by Nitika. And this was developed because there was a need from the industry that many formulators used to come and say, when you put a tablet in a glass of water, the scum comes at the top. It gives a dirty look. And those bubbles also make it not very aesthetic. The patient don't like it. So is there an alternative? So based on that, we have developed this product. And in fact, we are thankful to one of the industry member. Their R&D people came to our R&D. They worked together and made this formulated excipient, which not only takes care of the lubrication, so Efferlube, effervescent lubricant. Secondly, it also takes care of the froth that comes at the top. So there will be no froth. So when you put a tablet in the water, you'll get a clear-cut glass like a sharbat. If you put color also, it looks so elegant that people would love to have that solution. And that's why this product is getting good popularity, Efferlube.
Yes, thank you. See, we spoke about external lubrication.
Yeah.
From regulation point of view, external lubrication has to be added to the product label claim. So how do you quantify the amount used?
Yeah, see, a lot of work needs to be done on this area. It's a new area. So we cannot take it to the regulatory as of now. So first is to be tried with the domestic formulations. Ideally, it should work very well, but practically it has a lot of issues. I have not seen people using it very regularly. They use it only when they have no option. So a lot of research, it's a research interest, but practically a lot of issues are there. So I advise formulators that if they can have some other form of lubrication, they should go with it. If there are no option left and they want very high speed of tableting and they have a lot of problems, then only go for this kind of a machine. iSpray is a machine. It's, I think, from Germany. It gives a good, fairly good results if they want to at all use it.
Yeah, thank you. There is a very specific question you may answer or may not, or we can subsequently send them a response. How to improve the dissolution for fenofibrate 200 milligram tablets for the good lubrication point of view?
No, we have not. I don't recall. Yeah,
many experiments have been done, but I think surely you can take up in your lab with the customer and we can work out a good part of formulation characteristics for that.
Yeah, they can write a mail to us.
Yes.
My email ID is ravleensingh.khurana@nitikapharma.com. Please send a mail to me and we can surely take it up.
Yes, and even the participant, you can also write to us admin@IPEC.org, where we can also forward it to Ravleen ji and get you the response.
Perfect.
Question: what kind of lubricant is suitable for gastro-retentive tablets? There's another specific question.
Yeah, gastro-retentive tablets are those which are retained in the gastric cavity. They stick to the mucosa. There, you want retarded release. So there, you don't want the immediate release. So I think their Steric Acid can do the job. Though again, it depends on kind of formulation you're having. But I'll give one example. Like metformin and metoprolol. In these products, they use Steric Acid as an internal lubricant. While doing the granulation, they put it intragranular lubrication. So it does two jobs. One, lubrication. Secondly, it retards the release. So if you want gastro tablets to be there for a long time, so this I think can be a good choice. At the same time, you can go for others also.
Yes. There is a very generic question, although it's a too broad a topic. Someone likes to know challenges faced with regulatory agencies for oral solid dosage forms. It's a too broad a subject, but if you, I suggest a participant, if you have any specific issue with regards to any excipients, particularly lubricants, we'll able to respond you properly.
But here I can add one thing, Kaushik ji.
Yes.
I was having discussion with the Joint Commissioner of Maharashtra FDA, and they told me most of the problem they get from the market are related to magnesium stearate or the lubricant.
Yes.
So 50-60% of the problems what regulators get go to the lubrication only. So if you choose your lubricant properly, do your process properly, your half the problems can be taken care of. Half you have to tackle.
That is true. At the same time, as you process validation also takes a mixing part very important, because magnesium stearate, if you mix for little longer, it becomes a demixing then.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very careful while validating. It's not only a selection, but also the right process and the validation.
And the moment you choose the source, when you change
Yes.
the source also, you have to be very careful.
Yes. Because magnesium stearate, people feel it's only one grade available, so they just take it and
Yes.
land in problems. So
that is the biggest problem. That's the
Development-
biggest problem, Kaushik.
So the point is that the development pharmacist or a scientist, when you develop a product, kindly look at the grade from the specifics point of view. Don't make it generic.
Correct.
Yeah. Can you give some examples of a few co-processed lubricants available from Nitika? Or is
Yes. Yes.
maybe quick one, otherwise details can be
Yeah.
on
In
the
short,
subsequent
we can give. We have SLS plus magnesium stearate. That's one grade which is available. And another grade that we have is a combination of Steric Acid with magnesium stearate. So these are the two grades which we have right now. And we are working with more grades in days to come.
Okay, thank you. There is a question. What are the regulatory requirements for novel lubricants?
See, depends if the novel lubricant comes under grass, your many problems are taken care. But if it is not grass, then you have to do the toxicological and other studies, which is a very long procedure. And if it is approved somewhere else in the world, then you can give those references to the government of India, and depends on the view that CDSU takes. But if it is an already existing material used in pharma for other use, and then you are bringing it here, it's not a big task.
Okay. Is there any effect of moisture on lubrication? Type of
Huge.
any specific
Huge.
storage conditions?
Huge. See, we know if the powder catches moisture, its flow reduces and the whole story changes. So the moisture or the dryness plays a very vital role. So your blend must be dry, and then only you can have lubrication. Otherwise, lubricant will not do its job.
Okay, thank you. See, there is another question on the particle size of a lubricant. The question is whether the particle size of lubricant should be similar to that of API, because it is added just in 1 or 2% of the total quantity, and it will affect the dissolution and disintegration to a great extent.
No. See, the particle size of lubricant cannot be matching to the API particle size. And when you do the lubrication, actually, as we discussed, the layers will come out and it will make a coat over each and every granule. So it's not just going to be separate in the formulation. Yes, if you're going to use as an internal intragranular lubricant like Steric Acid in the like metformin or those kind of preparations, then you have to be careful. But if you're using as a normal lubricant, then no need.
Okay, thank you. There are some specific questions where we won't take up because some people like to know the specific product and what lubricant can be used. But I think I suggest participants to send your questions to either Nitika or IPEC India, and we'll able to respond to you.
Surely.
Yeah, there's another question on the magnesium stearate, because we spoke most of the time on the magnesium stearate, which is most commonly used. Is there any premium grades available in magnesium stearate, and why it is better than normal grade?
Very good question. There are a lot of premium grades available. See what happens. You have to strike a balance in particle size, in surface area, in bulk density, in steric permeatic ratio. So for a particular blend, if you think you need very high particle, very low particle size and high surface area, there's a grade available. But then that grade has to match bulk density and other parameters also. So those premium grades are developed to take care of some peculiar problems. So where US FDA is there or the regulatory concerns are there, people don't want to take a chance. Like I told, there was a company, it's an American multinational. So they wanted a particular grade, 7 to 9 meters square per gram. And that solved their problem with the Japanese market. And 10 years, they have no issues. So if there are specific problems, there you need to come up with the customized premium lubricants, which we do. We have more than hundreds of customized lubricants we are supplying to customers, but we don't want to go for them, but a lot of headache for us, but we have to do it sometimes.
Yes. There's another question. How, they say your pet subject also, how frequently you perform QBD assessment? I think we can have one more talk by you only on QBD.
The QBD is ongoing process. See, the concept of QBD is so beautiful that you have to decide a QTPP, quality target product profile, link it to CMA and CPA, the critical process and critical material attributes, and then see how it relates. So for example, you take magnesium stearate, make a tablet, the dissolution is not good. You change the particle size, see the dissolution. Okay, is better. So then you know in which particle size dissolution is going to be there. So likewise, you have to do a lot of experiments and then you have to come down. When we do customized excipients, it's mostly with all this. We do customization with respect to QBD only. There we link these parameters, do experiments and find out how it's going to work. So QBD is a real thing, is a future. So whenever you have any problem in lubricant, mind it, go to QBD, you'll get the solution.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
That's one part. And now there is another question. You spoke about the sticking part, sticking as an issue. So please suggest the solution. We are facing the problem of sticking or local punch only. What could be the possible reason?
See, whenever you're having sticking, the reason is lubricant or the punch face itself. Either if you are having only in one punch, check the punch face. The punch face might be having some crevices where it promotes the sticking, or your lubricant or your dryness. If your the mix is wet, it's not dry, then also the sticking can occur, or the lubricant is not proper, or their percentage is not proper. So you try to increase the lubricant concentration, and these three, one of these three reasons should be there. If you take care of one by one, I think the problem should be solved. Or you can write to us and we'll help you in solving the problem. That's our pet area. We have solved the problem of our customer in 60 countries. Yeah.
No, that's correct. So that's what I have been, we have been writing in chat box. And once again, I request all the participants, we may not be able to take specific questions, but if you have any issues with your lubricants or any other excipients, you can write to us either at Nitika or at IPEC India, which email IDs are shared on our chat box. So we'll get back to you with a satisfying answer. Okay, thank you. And there's maybe a last question. See, we spoke about the natural lubricants. So what type of problems can be encountered by using natural lubricants?
See, a natural lubricant will not be as good as magnesium stearate for sure. So be prepared to add more dosage and do more blending. At the same time, it doesn't have the problem associated with magnesium stearate. Over blending will spoil the tablet. So one, you have to go up to 5% concentration. Second, you have to increase your blending time because of the more volume. These two things and your natural product should work well, no problem.
Yes, thank you. And I think before I end, let us take the one more question, which is the last one. Please suggest optimum concentration for co-processed lubricants.
Which co-processed lubricant you're using, that will decide. But if you're using maybe SLS plus magnesium stearate, the concentration has to go up. So in normal magnesium stearate, if you're using 2%, you have to go up to 3.5% because two things are there, SLS and magnesium stearate. And it will not have the negative impact of normal magnesium stearate. So increase the concentration to 3.5%. It should work. Again, depends on the formulation.
Yes, thank you, Ravleen ji. We have almost taken more than 35 questions today. You know, and questions keep on pouring. Moment you respond something, the more question comes.
I can see 40 more. Yeah, I can see 40 more questions lying there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That more, because although the lubrication looks very simple, but it's not that simple the way it appears.
Not simple.
And that is true
Not
with all
simple
other binders, dilutes, everything, disintegrants. But
true.
an excellent. We'll end our question answer session. Before I go to the vote of thanks and conclusion, I will once again suggest all our participants to fill up the feedback form, which will help us to get you the subjects of the deliberation, what you need. At the same time, that will also help us to send you the recording of this webinar as well as the participation certificate. So thank you for your support and participation. So it's my privilege today to propose a vote of thanks. And first of all, on behalf of IPEC India, I thank our guest speaker of today webinar, Ravleen Singh Khurana, and also our board member of IPEC. Ravleen ji, you have given an excellent insight into the future trends in lubrication science for oral solid dosage forms. You have quite rightly elaborated challenges in getting quality finished product if lubrication is not done properly. Selection of right lubricant, its percentages, and also you have discussed about the future trends, what is likely to come, like you can say Efferlube for effervescent tablets, which is a new thing which I also learned today, that there are specific lubricants available for that, and also the natural lubricants, which many people go for it, and and also you gave elaborated case studies with examples and the solutions, not only challenges but also offer the solutions. Once again, thank you for an excellent presentation and also to provide support from Nitika Pharmaceutical Pvt Ltd in organizing this much knowledge sharing webinar. Thank you very much, Ravleen ji. So we look forward for your participations again and again, because I remember we started our webinar during Corona time and Ravleen ji was the first one to say, I will organize one. At that time also we had more than 1,500 participants. And today also I'm happy to see that we have participants from 37 countries, numbering to almost 1,000. So that itself shows the quality and the subject chosen by us, IPEC India, as well as the support from the technocrats and managing committee members.
Thank you, Kaushik Bhai, and thank you, IPEC,
once again. Yes. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence of foreign participants, particularly. Your participation is a great motivator to us, and also it helps in our global outreach. Not forgetting the Indian participants, of course, you are always there with us and supporting us, but our webinars have now gone globally. I'd like to express our gratitude to Dr. Hemgir Gosavi from Merck Life Sciences, and who is also our board member for IPEC India, for giving his very inspiring opening address, welcome note, and supporting for this webinar. I will failing my duty if I do not acknowledge the hard work done behind the curtain, and many times continuously on mail and coordinating Dipesh Adamba from my team. He is actually instrumental in success of today's knowledge sharing webinar. A big round of applause to them. That is one. And thanks are due to our IT team from ACG, Deepak and Rajesh for having the smooth conduct of this webinar. And we have been doing help with support of them consecutively, practically every month, one webinar. And so far we have not encountered any issues with them. Thank you, IT team of Rajesh and Deepak both. I request all of you once again to provide feedback by clicking on the link provided in the chat box, and your feedback will definitely help us in conceptualizing the programs in future for your interest. And last but not the least, I thank all the participants in success of today's webinar, and we look forward to see you along with your networking colleagues in the future events too. A big thank you to one and all. Here we end our webinar. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.